I'm going to show you how you can use Commission Central for those of you who have new carriers that you sign up with, how to manage all your commission rules all in one place. We now have the ability to set up commission rules on MGAs and parent carriers. For those of you who have carriers like Travelers, Progressive, Hartford, where you have one group name and then you have a bunch of individual writing carriers or subsidiaries, you can now set up one rule on the parent that governs all the children. So I'm going to show you how you can set up these commission rules on your MGAs and your parent carriers. You also now have the ability to reset commissions. Now you can do this on individual policies one by one, and you can also retroactively apply commission rules to active policies that are missing commission rules. I'm going to show you how you can do this now in Commission Central, because sometimes you guys receive downloads from carriers or you put in policy information manually and you don't know what your commission rules are at the time. You can now retroactively apply commissions to those policies. We also now have the ability to process direct bill commission downloads. For those of you who are tired of processing your carrier reconciliations manually, our system will now be able to process these for you automatically. You can also adjust the commission due to your agency while you are reconciling your commission. Very important, especially for those of you who thought your commission was 10% and you look at your commission statement, it's actually 13%. You would have to go out and then come back in to the policy and go back into the reconciliation. You no longer have to do that. You can now edit the reconciliation, the due amount, while you're reconciling your commissions. We've also added sublines of business, which will allow you to identify multiple types of the same line of business. I'm going to show you where you can set this up and how you can use it to set up commission rules as well as for you to do reporting on it. And we've also included several standard commission reports to allow you to view detailed commission information for the agency and the producer. These are included for every single Catalyst subscriber. So I'm going to show you some of the new reports and how you can use that information to help govern how you run your agency. So there are several reports we're going to go over today. I believe 8 of them are new for you. We'll go through each and every one of them. And again, if you have any questions on anything we're talking about, feel free, type them into the question window and we'll address them when we hit our Q&A section. Okay. Now, at the end of the webinar, I'm going to put this slide up as well. If you guys have any questions on anything that we're talking about, I'll stand by to answer the questions for you at the end of the webinar. But you can also contact our product support team at 877-809-2509 if you run into any trouble. You can also send an email to training@qqsolutions.com. And all of our changes are being included in our training classes. So for those of you who haven't taken any setting up and reconciling commission training classes in a while, you want to set up your scheduler for tomorrow. I believe we have setting up and reconciling commission training tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. So you definitely want to register for that so you can see a detailed training on all the new features. So I'll put this information up again at the end of the webinar. But let's go ahead and get Catalyst open. Let's talk about some of the new changes. One of the first things we've done is on the dashboard. We have a Sources of Business widget. The Sources of Business widget showed you your top 5 sources. We have now changed that to be your top 10. So now you can see your top 10 sources of business. We've also changed it to include a toggle, so you can change it from policy source, which is what we have it right now. That's the default by policy source. You can now change it from policy source to customer source. Several of you have requested this change, so you can see either where your the top 10 list of your sources for your customers or for your policies. And Catalyst will remember this setting change based on your username. So if you like to see it by policy and someone else in your agency likes to see it by customer, Catalyst will remember the settings for each user. Another change that we've made is to the task widget. The task widget shows all the tasks that are assigned to you and all the tasks that you created and assigned to someone else. The reason being is because a lot of people wanted to know, if I create a task for someone else, I want to be able to follow up on whether they completed the task or not. However, some of you don't care to see the task that you create for someone else. So now you can click on this pinwheel setting and you can check off to only show the tasks that are assigned to me. That way you don't see the task assigned to other people. Okay? Now, again, this is not as in someone assigns a task to someone else. We're talking about you create a task manually and you assign it to another person. Now you don't have to see those tasks. You can click here to only show you the tasks that are assigned to you. Another change that we've made is the subline. So let's go over, you do need access to the global preferences. So this is going to be probably the agency administrators. You're going to hover over your name and hover over preferences and go to global preferences. You're going to see sublines here in global preferences. Now a subline is a way to identify multiple types of the same line of business. We've put some defaults in there for you to let you know what type of information you should be entering here. So if you write life insurance policies, you can put in here 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, 30-year. If you're writing personal auto policies, it might be personal auto, part of the elite program, the standard program, preferred. Or if it's personal auto, liability only, liability, comp and collision, or liability SR22. You can add anything you'd like in this subline field. This does show up on the policy, and this allows you to set up very detailed policy information, not only for reporting, but for you to set up commission rules if you get a different commission percentage for the different types of policies. Okay, so in this case here, let me just put in SR22, because I'm going to get a lower commission percentages on personal auto policies where an SR22 is involved. There's no limit to the number of sublines that you can add. You can add as many sublines as you'd like, and it is global for the entire agency. So now let's talk about the changes that we've made on policies. One of the things that I wanted to point out, a couple of people have asked, Dickinson, is there any way to access policy information without having to go to the customer and then clicking on the policies tab? Don't forget that when you do a search for your customer, right here on the search screen, you can click on this green arrow and you can access the policy directly from this screen. You don't have to click on the customer or the prospect and then click on the policies tab. Okay. All right, so here's my commercial auto policy. In the Policy Info tab, you're going to see in the Policy Info section this subline field. The subline is not mandatory because you may not have multiple types of the same line of business. However, if you do, you can now load in that it's commercial auto liability only. And you can report on this field, and you can set up commissions specifically when it's a commercial auto policy and when it's liability only. Another change that we've made on the policy is we now store the parent carrier on the policy. Several of you have set up carrier groups, and you have changed the association between the carrier and the parent. Before, we weren't storing that information on the policy, but it's being stored on there now. So just in case you change the affiliation between one carrier and the parent to another, the system will have that information stored on the policy for you so you know who the policy was issued with originally. Another thing that we've stored on the policy for you is your third-party finance options. For those of you who do third-party financing, we had the default login for every single finance company that you set up. So if you selected that the finance company was, let's say, Surplus Lines Finance Company, we would show the default, and that would be the only option. Well, now we're going to load the default, but you could change it on a per-policy basis. Okay, so for those of you who have a finance company where the financing option is going to differ based on if it's direct bill or if it's agency bill. You can change that now directly on each policy. And you're going to get the same options when you go to issue the policy as well. So you have it when you're issuing the policy, and it's also on the policy for you to edit. Now, what about commissions? If you have permission to view the agency's commission and the producer commissions, when you click on the Agency Commission tab, you're now going to see a Reset Commission action button here. Now, if you have a policy with 0 commissions, or if you have a policy with any commission percentage at all, and you just want to make sure that you have the most updated rule on the policy, you can select Reset Commissions. You're going to see a warning that says you're about to reset the agency's commission, which will also reset the producer's commission. So we're going to look for updated rules for everyone on this policy. Do you want to continue? It's very important for you to note, if you put in manually that you get paid 10% commission on the policy, you hit reset and there's no commission rule for that policy, the system's going to reset that policy to 0. Okay? So you want to make sure you're hitting reset on policies or for carriers where you've set up commission rules. I'm going to click yes here, and the system's going to go do a lookup to see if a commission rule has been set for this carrier. And let's see if it's set up for me here. If it is, it's going to return an agency commission, and it has not. So that lets me know that I need to go and set up commissions for this carrier for this line of business. Now in this case, I can make it 15% manually, but don't forget, this is only going to be for this specific policy. You want to go set up the commissions on the carrier or the MGA directly. Now, on the Producers tab, you now have the ability to set up group commissions, groups that get either individual commissions when they're part of a group or split commissions on a policy. Let me go ahead and show this to you. I'm going to come over to the Policy Info tab, and I'm going to add some additional producers onto this policy. Okay, let's add Elizabeth Rodriguez, and let's also add Pedro Perez. Now, when you go to the Producers tab, you're going to see two different options for when you have multiple producers on a policy. I'm going to click Edit. You have Groups, Individual Commissions. This is where each producer is going to get their own percentage of the agency's commission. So if the agency's commission is $500, this producer is going to get 20% of that $500. This person's going to get 30%, and Elizabeth's going to get 50% of that $500. Okay? So this is group individual commission. Now, you also have the ability to set up group split commissions. This is where the producers are going to share a percentage of the agency's commission. So let's just say the agency's commission was $500. Instead of each person getting their own percentage of the $500, they're going to share 50% of the agency's commission. So they're going to share $250. What percentage of that $250 is each producer going to get? And I can say this person gets 25%, this person gets 25%, and this producer gets 50%. So you can now configure commission splits for your producers in QQ Catalyst. The next change that we've made is on the billing tab within a policy. If you go to the carrier commission account, you are always seeing who you needed to do a reconciliation on. But then agents would have to go search for that contact and then select reconcile. We have now made this a clickable link. If you see a balance here, all you have to do is click on the clickable link. We will take you to the reconciliation workflow for that contact. And you can immediately begin reconciling your commissions. Now, we've also made some changes to this reconciliation workflow. When you get into the reconciliation, you're going to notice that the Paid Now field is now the second to the last field, and the balance is now far to the right. That way, as you're marking off what you're getting paid right now, we're adjusting the balance for you. So you can see what the balance on each policy is going to be. We've also made a change so that you can adjust your due commissions to the agency while you're in the reconciliation workflow. So let's just say that you're looking at your commission statement. You're showing in Catalyst that you're due $607.50. But when you look at the commission statement, you're only due $300. It's more likely that your commission inside the system is incorrect. If it is, you can simply click now on the due amount. We're going to open up the agency commission tab, and you can make changes directly to the commission due to the agency. Okay? Now, the only time you will not be able to make this change is if you're dealing with an agency bill net policy, where your commission is taken up front. Okay, that's the only time you will not be able to do that. Let me see if I can find a direct bill policy here to show you. Okay. I'm showing 15% commission here. I can click Edit and make the commission what the carrier is actually paying me. And we will adjust your reconciliation to show that amount. So let me go ahead and check off this policy and this policy. These are the ones that I'm getting paid for on the statement. When you click Next to continue, you're going to see a new field called Non-Policy Commissions. Some of you receive bonuses from the carrier for writing 50 new business policies for the month. Or some of you get penalized because your customers are calling the carrier's service center, and the carrier is going to charge you every single time one of your customers calls that service center. So what you're going to be able to do now is put in that bonus, or you could put in the chargeback. I'm going to say here that I'm getting $500 additional on my statement. So here are my policy commissions, here is my bonus, and here's my statement total. Same thing goes for if it's a negative number. Just put a minus in front of it, and we're going to reflect that in the statement total. And then I'm going to click Finish. We're going to generate the reconciliation report. And the reconciliation report has been adjusted to show your non-policy adjustments or non-policy commissions. Let me just go ahead and generate that report so you guys can see. So this is your statement total. Here's your policy commissions, and here's your non-policy adjustments. And when you click OK, we'll take you back to where you came from, which was on the customer's account. And if you paid the commission, you'll see that here in the bill that was due and the bill that was paid. So now, Commission Central. Commission Central is a central location, again, for you to manage all of your commission rules. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, we have converted all of your commissions to Commission Central. So if you had commission rules prior to 3.2, they've all been moved for you to Commission Central. We have not removed the commission rules from the contacts themselves. So if you do a search for a contact and you have commission rules on that contact, you'll still see the commission rules on that contact. Let me go ahead and pull up Travelers Insurance Company here just for me to show you. The commission tab is still there on each one of your contacts. Okay, so you can still set up commission rules on your contacts individually. Now, you do need permission to access Commission Central. There is a new permission for each employee that's called Commission Central. By default, all agency administrators have that permission, but if you'd like someone else to have that permission, if they didn't have permission to view agency commissions before, we did not grandfather them into that permission. However, if they had the permission to view agency commissions, we have also grandfathered that permission in for them. You access Commission Central by hovering over More and selecting Commission Central. Now again, this is a centralized location to manage all of your commission rules. Now, we've added the ability to do a lot of new commission rules set up here, so we're going to go through them one by one. I'm going to click to Add Commission here. Right now I'm on the Agency Commission tab. I'm going to click to Add Commission. The first ability we've given you now is you can specify whether you get paid a specific percentage on monoline policies as opposed to package policies. If you get paid the same commission percentage for every single policy, you only have to set up one commission rule now in QQ Catalyst. Leave this as any policy type, any location. In this case, I don't have an MGA. I can say any parent. So now what we're doing is we're looking for every single carrier that has subsidiaries underneath them. So all your group companies will be showing up here under the parent carrier field. You can put in whichever the carrier is and your line of business. Now let me start from the top down. So if I wanted to say that I get paid a specific percentage for monoline policies as opposed to package, I can select monoline here and put in my percentages. By the way, I want you to notice that we now have a rewrite field, so you can set up commissions for new business, renewal, and rewrite. If they're all the same, when you put in the new business percentage and you tab over, we will fill in the renewal and the rewrite, but you can change those if they're not the same. If you'd like to set up a specific percentage on package policies, you'll select package as the policy type, and then under package type, let us know which one it is, whether it's commercial package or personal package or agricultural. In this case, I'm going to select personal package. If you get paid the same percentage on every personal package policy, you're going to leave everything else the same here except selecting your carrier or your parent or your MGA. And then here, you'll let us know what that percentage is. However, let's just say you get paid 10% commission if it's a commercial package policy or a personal package policy. But if it's a personal package policy with homeowners and personal auto, you get paid a higher percentage. You're going to have this as package type personal package. Under line of business, instead of leaving it at any, select multi-line. Excuse me. You're going to select multi-line and let us know which lines within the package give you a higher commission percentage. So if I write a personal package policy that has homeowners and personal auto, I get paid, let's say, 15% commission. Then you would save this rule. Then you can create another rule that says when it's personal, auto, homeowners, and flood, I get paid a higher commission percentage. Okay? So there's no maximum number of rules that you can create. You can create as many of these commission rules as you need to. So let's switch this back here to any. You can now set up your commission rules on your MGA. So if you have an MGA like All Risk that pays you the same commission percentage, it doesn't matter if it's through Lloyd's of London or if it's through Scottsdale Insurance, it's always 10%. You can now say, when I write a policy with All Risk, it doesn't matter who the carrier is, I get paid 10% commission across the board for every line of business. Here's the Subline field. So let's just say that they paid me a higher commission percentage if I write a life insurance policy. But if the life insurance policy is specifically a 30-year term policy, I'll select 30-year here in my Subline field, and we can save a commission on specifically this combination, this life insurance line of business with this Subline field. We have also now given you the ability to set an effective date to your commission rules. So when you write a policy, we're going to default today's date. When you put in a commission rule, we're going to default today's date as the effective date for that commission rule. You can put this date in the past or you can put it in the future. All this means is this commission rule is going to affect every single policy entered with an effective date of October 30th going forward. If you create the same rule with a different effective date, let's just say that you set up the same life 30-year term commission rule and you put January 1st, 2015, this rule is going to expire on January 1st, 2015, and we're going to pick up the new rule. So it's a great thing that you can do this with your effective dates. You no longer have to delete old commission rules. The commission rule can stay there just in case the carrier sends you a download of a policy that expired a couple of months ago. The system will still be able to pick up whatever the commission rule was for that old policy. You can also now set up commissions on premium tiers. And by premium tiers, we mean on the total policy premium. So in this case, let's say I have 3 tiers. Tier number 1 is going to be from 0 to up to 10,000. So this is up to 10,000. It does not include 10,000. This is for every policy premium from 0 to $9,999.999999. Okay? My second tier is going to be 10,000 and up to $20,000. And then my last tier is going to be anything $20,000 and above. So I can say if the policy premium falls between 0 and up to 10,000, I'm going to get paid 10% commission. If it falls between 10,000 and up to 20,000, I get paid 13% commission. And if it falls between 20,000 and above, I get paid 15% commission. And again, this is on the total policy premium. We've also added the ability for you to set up promotional commission rules. One of my favorite things in the agency was around Christmas time. We would get a bunch of emails from our carriers and our MGAs saying, hey, for every policy you write between December 1st and December 31st, we're going to pay you an extra 5% commission points, which I loved. All right? And I know you guys love that too. I think they do the same thing around summertime. What you can do now is set up a promotional period. So this rule is going to be in effect between December 1st of 2014 and it's going to expire on December 31st of 2014. So every policy with an effective date between December 1st and December 31st is going to catch this commission rule, and on January 1st, 2015, it's going to go back to whatever the regular rule is. Okay, so you can set up promotional periods for your commission rules now. For those of you that do life insurance policies, you guys get paid sometimes over 100% commission on policies. You can now say that I get paid 110% commission for these policies. We do have the ability now to handle commissions over 100% for the agency. Now, when it comes to all your commission rules, as you can see here, we're going to page. For those of you who have a lot of commission rules, we're going to page your rules. If you're looking for a specific rule with a specific carrier or a line of business, you now have the option to filter through your commission rules. So I'm going to select filter here. And you can say, show me rules specific to all risk insurance brokers. And you can specify a line of business or a writing carrier tied into all risk. But I just want to see all the commission rules I have set up for all risk. will filter through the rules to show you every single commission rule you have where all risk is listed as the MGA. This will give you a good idea of what commission rules you haven't set up yet. If you look up at the toolbar, we've also given you the ability to reset commissions globally. If you select reset, you have the ability to say, well, for this agency location, or you can elect not to filter it, for a specific MGA, or for a specific parent carrier or writing carrier or line of business, I want you to search through my entire Catalyst database and look for any active policy that does not have a commission rule applied. This is only for your active policies. Okay? We're going to do a search and look for all the policies that are active that have either a $0 or 0% commission set in the agency commission tab. Now, this may return a lot of results, by the way. Hopefully, it doesn't return a lot of results. But if you have several results, we're going to do the search. We're going to look for all the policies. Then we're going to show you all the policies that have a $0, 0% commission. As you can see in my test database here, I have several of them, which is why our search is taking so long. But when we do find the results, you're going to be able to click OK, and we're going to start the process. If you've set up a commission rule for that policy in Catalyst, we will now go and apply that commission rule to the policy. Okay? This is only going to work if you've set up a commission rule. So if it shows up in the list and you don't have any commission rules set up and you click OK, nothing's going to happen. All right? The next time you come in here and you select reset, you're going to see again that the policies are going to show up in the list. So you can do the global reset here for all policies, all active policies where you now have a commission rule, or you can do it on a policy-by-policy basis. We've also given you the ability to reconcile from Commission Central. So you can click Reconcile, and you'll select the contact that you'd like to reconcile. By default, we show you any, and you'll see this grouped by carrier, by MGA, by parent, and by producer. The only reason they'll show up here in this drop-down is because they have an outstanding commission bill. Okay, so if it's here, you're owed commission on one of these policies for this carrier. Or you can specify, show me only my carriers, and you can go through your list of carriers. Now, if you have a filter applied to your commission rules here, you're going to see an option to clear the filter or an option to change the filter. In this case, I'm just going to clear it so I can see all my commission rules again. Now, what about the rules for your producers? We've made some changes to your producers as well to give you more access to detailed or complex commission rules. Now, while that's working itself out here in my test database, I think it's still doing my search here for all those policies. While it's still doing that, let me go ahead and show you another new feature here. Direct bill commission downloads in QQ Catalyst. Now, by default, we have disabled direct bill commission downloads for everyone because I know that you may have had some older files that you may have already reconciled manually. So by default, we've disabled your direct bill commission downloads. I'm going to show you where you can enable them. You do have to have access to location preferences. In location preferences, it's going to be in the Downloads tab. Now, by the way, for those of you who want to process direct bill commission downloads, you need 2 permissions to access it. You do need to have downloads permissions to access the download sections, and you need the Reconcile Agency Commission permission because you have to be able to view agencies' commissions and reconcile them, okay? Here it is in the Download Import Mode section. You're going to see direct bill commissions. By default, you're going to see this disabled for your agency. Manual means you have to click, you have to trigger the action for us to do the reconciliation. Automatic means we're going to try to complete the reconciliation ourselves. Okay? So long as all your policies exist, so long as the carriers exist in Catalyst, we'll be able to process the reconciliation for you. Okay? So I have direct bill commission set up. How is it going to look when you come here? In the drop-down where it says location type, you're going to see, again, your unassigned downloads. You'll see your agency locations, but you're also going to see direct bill commissions. Here are the direct bill commission downloads we've received so far. As you can see, I got this from All America Financial Benefits Insurance Company. We show you the statement date, how much you're getting for policy commissions, any non-policy commissions, and your statement total. If you click on the green arrow, you'll be able to see which policies you're getting your commissions for. And for any details on this policy, you can click on Ready to Complete, we'll show you the carrier that was sent for the transaction, the NAIC code, customer name, policy number, line of business, effective and expiration date, and the commission percentage you're getting for that policy. For those of you who don't want to process direct bill commission downloads and all you want is a copy of your statement, you can select print here. That's right under remove. We will download a text file to your computer and you can just view your commission statement. To process the direct bill commission download manually, you'll simply click on the carrier name. We're going to launch you into the reconciliation workflow. And for those of you who have done reconciliations manually, on the left-hand side, you usually have a checkbox of what you want to put off as being paid. But again, the carrier is telling us you're being paid for this policy, so you won't see the checkboxes. And in the Paid Now field, you won't see that as a field that you can enter manually, because again, this is a statement coming from the carrier. We know how much you're being paid. If this says 0, don't forget that you can click on the transaction, on the due amount, and you can always edit and make the commission what it's supposed to be. When you click next, we're going to show you the summary of the transaction. Just let us know which agency location is receiving the deposit or the check and how it is that you're getting paid. And then just click Finish to process your direct bill commission download transaction. Now, because that was ready to complete, if I was on automatic, the system would have automatically reconciled that commission for me and it would not need my interaction at all. When you generate your reconciliation report, you're going to see here in the upper right-hand corner DBCD to let you know this was a direct bill commission download. Now, in the case that you have a red link here, if you see carrier not found, that just means that within QQ Catalyst, the carrier on this policy is not in the system. So you're going to click on this link, look for the carrier name, and the NAIC code, and you need to go add the carrier with their NAIC code in QQ Catalyst. Okay? Or you may get a transaction that says that the policy is not found. That means that you need to go in and create the policy because we have to reconcile if the policy exists only. Okay? The policy can be canceled, it can be expired, but it does have to exist. Okay? Now, in the downloads training, we will be going into further detail as to how to process all of these transactions for direct bill commission downloads, so you definitely want to register for our training classes. Now, concerning reports, we've made some pretty nice reports that we're hoping that you guys are going to love. Let me see if I can go back to, actually, it looks like this section. Let me just refresh this page here. Looks like my training database is having a hang up here. Actually, there we go. All right, great. So now, producer commissions. You're going to click on Add Commission for the producer. Again, you can set up the same complex, detailed commission rules for each of your producers. If you pay them a higher percentage on a certain line of business, or if they write with a specific carrier. One of the things I know you guys didn't like was for every employee that you wanted to set up commission rules for, you always had to set up 2 commission rules. One that said any MGA, one that said no MGA. You don't have to do that anymore. Now, any MGA encompasses no MGA. So you don't have to specify any and no unless you want to, unless you do pay a different percentage for when there's no MGA on the policy and when there's any. But any now encompasses if there's nothing on the policy, okay? So you only have to set up 1 commission rule for each employee for any location, any policy type, any line of business. This individual person, and you do have to specify who it is, this individual is going to get paid 35% commission on whatever they write. Now, you can change this from producer type individual to group individual, and this is going to say if there are multiple producers on the policy, each of these producers get their own percentage of the agency's commission. So this person gets 35%, this person gets 25%, and this person gets 10%. Their own percentage of the agency's commission. Or you can set this up as a group split commission. Whenever these people are on a policy together, they're going to share a percentage of the agency's commission. So they're going to share 40%, and they're going to split this 40%, 20, 20, 60. Okay? This column total cannot exceed 100% for your producers. So they can't get over 100% of the agency's commission. You can set up the promotional commission rules for your producers as well. So in the case that you wanted to do a promotion and, hey guys, I'll pay you a higher commission percentage for anyone who writes, more policies in the month of March, you can just say, in the month of March, I'm going to set up that this person gets paid a higher commission percentage between March 1st and March 30th. We've also added the ability to set up commission rules for your producers on policy source. Now, one of the things that I loved about my agency that I worked at was if the agency put on, let's say, a Facebook ad or an email campaign and customers called in because of the ads the agency put out, they would pay me 40% commission for those policies. However, if I cold called customers and I generated the accounts on my own, I would get a higher commission percentage on those policies. So what you want to do, agents, is go through your policy source and add one more option in here that says producer generated or producer account. If you set that up, you'll be able to say for every policy, for any source, this producer gets paid 15% commission. However, if the policy source is producer generated, they get paid a higher commission percentage. So now you can set up these commission rules on your policy source for your producers. Really good stuff. And you still have the option of filtering through your commission rules for each producer. And as you can see, we have the commission rules displayed for you here. So you don't have to click in to make any changes or to look at the commission rules. You can just view your commission information right here. If there's a commission rule with any kind of group or with multiple producers, we'll still show you the entire group on the outside. You don't have to go, click in the rule to see any rules that have multiple producers on them. We'll show those to you. Now, we also have the ability, for those of you who don't want to type commission rules multiple times, you do have the ability now to copy commission rules. So if you create a commission rule, just left-click and select Copy. We'll open up that copied commission rule and just make a change as to who the producer is, and then just click Save. Okay. The same thing goes for your agency commission. You can do copying of the commission rules as well. Now, concerning reports, we've included several new standard commission reports for you. Okay, we're going to go through them one by one here, and then we'll do our Q&A. We'll talk about some of the fixes we've done, and we'll do our Q&A. I see we have a lot of questions to be answered. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Okay. Let me see which one of my environments is going faster here. Let me go over to my... By the way, we did get a couple of calls concerning slowness in the system. We have made some significant changes to the website, and over the period of the day, you're going to see the performance increasing. We did make some really hardcore changes on the website about how the website processes information. And as you touch different sections of the system, as you visit different pages, the first time that you go there, it's going to seem very slow. But over the day, over the period of the day, you're going to see the performance increase significantly. So now, if you scroll down, you're going to see a couple of new reports that we've included for you. Let's go over this one first. Outstanding agencies commissions. That's one of the biggest requests we've gotten. Dickinson, you guys show me commissions outstanding for each carrier, which is great. But I want to report to see all outstanding commissions. You now have that here. Outstanding agency commission. Just going to click Run. Now, you're going to see a field called Build Contact. This is the person that owes you the commission. It may be an MGA, it may be a parent carrier, it may be a writing carrier. You don't have to select an option here. You can just leave it blank, and we're going to include all. Every single contact that you have that's showing that you are owed outstanding commissions, and we'll generate that report for you. Now, all depending on how many policies you have, that'll determine how long it's going to take the report to complete. However, here, let's go ahead and zoom in for you guys to see this here. We're showing you for each build contact how much commission is outstanding and for which policy the commission is outstanding, how much you've been paid to date, and what the balance is on the policy. So this is the total commission, how much I've been paid, and how much is outstanding. And at the very bottom of this report, you're going to see a summary of all outstanding commissions. Okay, how much your total is due, how much is paid to date, and how much commission is outstanding. So that's the outstanding agency commission report. We've also included the outstanding commissions for your producers. So in the case that your producer says, hey, how much commission do I have outstanding for all policies? You can specify which producer is on the report or you can do this for all producers at the same time, just for you to know how much commission you have owed to your producers. So here's how much commission is owed to that producer, and it's subtotaled for each producer. And at the very bottom, again, you're going to see the total commission due to all producers in the agency that are outstanding. So this is a great report to run for your producers before the end of the month and hand them to them so they can see what commissions they have outstanding. We have a non-renewed policy report as well. This one shows you all the policies that have expired in your database that were not renewed or rewritten. They were not replaced by some active policy at some time. This is not going to include policies that are, let's say, if you have a pending policy that wasn't made active. Okay? This is the policy was not renewed, it wasn't rewritten, and that renewal or rewrite policy was never made active. So this is policies that you've lost. These have expired. Let's do this for, let's say, January 1st of 2014 through today's date. By the way, you can specify if you want a specific CSR's report or a specific agent's report, or you can just click Run and we'll return all results for you. By the way, someone asked me whether or not this is the same as your expiring policies widget. This is the exact same report, except you can specify which CSR and which agent you'd like to run the report for. So here are all the policies in each location that I've lost. These are policies that have been lost. At the very bottom here, you're going to get a total for how much policy premium and agency commission you've possibly lost from these expired policies. Another report that we've included for you is cancellation lost business. Now, we do have a lost premium due to cancellation report. The difference between that one and this one is actually looking to see if that canceled policy was replaced. Okay? So it's very important when you have a canceled policy that you hover over policy action and select rewrite or create future policy. That's the only way we'll know if that canceled policy was replaced by another one. So these are policies that were canceled that were not replaced. I've actually lost this business. We're going to show you your commission when the policy was written, how much you've earned, the unearned commission, initial premium, earned premium, and unearned premium. So you get a really good picture of your total commission loss, your total premium loss, how much premium and commission you earned on these canceled policies. Another great report that you can hand out to try to get some of these canceled policies back. Another report that we've included for you is your net commission report. This is a great one, I think, especially for agency administrators. You know how much commission your agency's gotten paid. You know how much you've paid your producers. But how much net commission have you actually made after paying all of your producers' commissions? Now, again, this is going to require heavily on you reconciling commissions in Catalyst. That's the only way we'll know. We're going by the payment date of your commissions. So let's do a report here and see how much net commissions I've gotten paid. Let me run this report again. I think I closed my window accidentally. Here we go. So we're going to show you the contact that paid you the commission, how much gross commission was received, how much you paid your producers, how much commission you've actually received after paying all of your producers. Now, of course, I'm in a test database, so that's why you see these negative numbers. You shouldn't have any negative numbers. So like in this case here, let's look for one of these real ones here. As you can see, these are all test numbers. Like in this case here, I've gotten paid so far, $394 from this insurance company. I haven't paid the producers anything, so this all went to the agency. At the very bottom of the report, you'll see in full how much commission you've gotten from all of these carrier and MGA contacts, how much producer commission you've paid out, how much total commission the agency's taken in. We also have the production report for the agency. Another great report, I think. For those of you who'd like to see, show me how many active policies I have for all carriers. Show me all active premium, all active commissions that I have. You can do this specifically for the person paying you commission. So you can do this by the MGA or the carrier or the parent carrier. Or you can say, I only want to see my new business policies. Show me all active new business policies. Or if you'd like to see your entire book of business, let's just do this from October 31st. Of 2013 to now, and we'll show you all active premium. for all contacts and how many policies you have with that billed contact. We're also going to show you how much of your premium volume that carrier accounts for, how much of your commission volume that carrier accounts for, and how much of your agency commissionable premium volume that accounts for. Okay? So you may have a really high premium volume with one carrier. You get a lot of premium. You have a lot of commission from them, but the amount of commissionable premium, you really have to write a lot of policies in order to get this commission. As opposed to a carrier where you may not have that much premium, you may not have that much commissionable premium volume, but the amount that they pay you for your commission is so much that they account for a high amount of your commissionable premium. Okay? So really good report to show you where you're really getting your premium from, where you're really getting your commission from. And at the very bottom, we'll show you your total premium volume, your total commissionable premium, and your total agency commission volume, and how many policies you have with these carriers. We've done the same thing for your producers, producer production report. Now, I understand that you're going to have some policies with multiple producers on them. So what we've done is we've built a report to show you how effective your producer combinations are. So let's do this report from January to now. Again, you could specify a producer, one producer at a time, or you can look at it as a whole. So now, when Adam is on a policy by himself, here's how much premium he's generated for me. Percentage of the premium volume, commissionable premium, agency commission volume, here's how many policies he's generated. When he's on a policy with Austin, here's how much premium he's generated. When Dickinson and Adam are on policies together, here's how much premium they've generated. It's a really good report to show you how effective your producers are individually and how effective they are when they work as a team, if there are multiple producers listed on a policy. Okay? And you'll see how many policies are accounted for each one of these producer combinations, and at the very bottom, you'll get a total. So you can see how much premium and commission volume each producer is contributing to the agency. The next one is a producer payment report. This one's going to show you how much commission you've paid out to either all your producers or to a specific producer between a given date range, just in case they want to know, well, how much commissions have I gotten paid so far in the year of January, in the year of 2014. So let's say January 1st, 2014, so far, how much commissions have all the producers gotten paid? And when I say gotten paid, I mean you've reconciled it in Catalyst. So for each producer, we're going to show you how much they've gotten paid so far and for which policies they've gotten paid these commissions. And you're going to see a total for each producer. And at the very bottom, you'll see a total for all producers, how much commissions have been paid for all producers so far in the year 2014. Two additional reports. I'm not sure if you guys noticed these. These were part of our last release. Carrier close ratio. For those of you who are using the quote management, I'm hoping you guys have been using it. We can show you how many quotes you've closed with a certain carrier or MGA combination. So I'm going to select carrier close ratio. And again, I want to try to find out for, let's say, the year let's say so far between January and now, what's my close ratio with each one of these carriers or MGAs? As you can see, you can specify which MGA, which parent carrier, or which writing carrier. But we're going to show you how many quotes have been sold, how many quotes have not been sold, and what your close ratio is with that carrier. So it'll show you the carrier, it will show you the combination of that carrier with any MGA specifically, and show you how often you're closing when you have a quote. We're talking about a quote with the status of quoted, where you actually make that policy active in Catalyst. The same thing goes for the producer close ratio report. So I'm going to select here employee close ratio. You can do this specifically for one producer, or you can do it for all the producers at the same time. Let's make this January 1st of 2014 till now. You're going to see how many times they've closed on policies. And again, we're doing this automatically when you issue policies that have a quote. You're going to see here, you have 0 sold quotes, 6 not sold, so we have a 0 close ratio. We have 1 that's sold, 1 that's not, 0 that's unsold, so we have 100%. And you'll really be able to see how often when a person gets a quote that they actually close the deal. Now, the reports are smart enough to know that if you quote multiple if you get multiple quotes for the same line of business, we're only looking to see if one of those have been sold, and that'll give you the 100% close ratio. So if you write a personal auto policy, you got 6 quotes, you sold 1, that's one business opportunity, and you sold 1, so that's 100% close ratio. So we are doing this looking in detail to make sure we're not including multiple quotes for the same line of business. Now, we've done a couple of fixes. We had an issue where the LinkedIn widget wasn't returning any data. That has since been completed. It has now been fixed, so you should be seeing data coming in your LinkedIn widget. Some of you had a pending policy report that wasn't showing certain policies. That was an issue as soon as we released our quote management system. That's since been fixed as well, so you can pull in pending policies into your reports. We had an issue with the supplemental accord forms being locked. You were able to type the information into the form, but when you went to save it, you were unable to save the data. That has since been fixed. You now have the ability to merge duplicate employees and carrier contacts. So if you have the same employee in there, all you have to do now is do a search for your employee. In this case, let me go to the employee contact. And you're going to see merge contact to. And you can only do this for contacts within the same location, okay? So this is going to be the same contact in the same location. Now, you don't want to do this for employees that aren't actually duplicates or carriers that aren't actually duplicates because the other person gets deleted. So if I found the match here and I selected it and select merge, we're going to delete this existing contact. So if you don't want that to happen, don't do the merge, okay? You now have the ability to now roll back download transactions. Let's just say that you completed a download transaction, but it was completed incorrectly. If you go over to downloads now, in the completed section, you're going to see an ability to roll back the transaction. So select roll back, send it back to need matching, and reprocess it. Agency bill transactions will no longer fail in downloads. We're now processing those for you. We've also updated Accord Form 25 to the new edition, which is January 2014. That has been updated, so you guys will see mapping to Accord 25. A lot of you were having an issue when you were generating templates, where if one merge field was blank, it made all the other merge fields blank. That has since been corrected, so you no longer have that issue. The same was coming up regarding reports. If a user didn't have permission to a certain column in a report, the entire report would show blank or return no results. That's been fixed as well, so you guys will have no problem with that. And we had an issue where if you had too many certificate holders on a certificate of insurance, if you had maybe 400 holders, the system would time out and not generate the certificates. Now the system is able to handle that, so it's no longer timing out, and it's actually gotten faster for you to do that. And we had a request for Accord Form 61 for Delaware, which is a supplemental form for Delaware. That has been added to the Accord Form library. All right, and that's all the changes that we have here for QQ Catalyst version 3.2. I will be happy to answer any questions you guys have on what we've gone over. I'm going to put up the contact information one last time here, just in case you have any questions on anything. Feel free to send an email to training@qqsolutions.com or to call in our product support team at 877-809-2509. Don't forget that these new features are being integrated into our existing training classes. So for those of you who have not attended training in a while, I do recommend that you sign up for our training classes. And again, I thank you for being very loyal QQ subscribers. Catalyst is only getting better. A lot of these new features that we have are coming from your feedback. So continue to use the feedback option in Catalyst. We do have several new features coming up now that we're working on for our next release. So continue to share your feedback. I know some people have sent me emails personally saying, hey, Dickinson, I put something in the feedback. It hasn't been incorporated as of yet. We're working on new designs for new features all the time. We will be getting these things in to make it easier for you to manage your agency and to do it very efficiently. That's what we're aiming for here at QQ Solutions, and we're open to hearing any other suggestions that you guys have. So please continue to share your feedback with us. And again, for those of you who had been experiencing any kind of performance issues today, it should be better now. I've tested this apparently on our staging environment, on our production environment. All of you should be experiencing normal performance stability in QQ Catalyst. So again, thank you all very much for joining us today. For those of you who had questions, type into the question window. I will be addressing those right now. For those of you who don't have any questions, thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great afternoon.